Hey, what is going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are about to get started with Open Mic Live. But first, as always, a word from our sponsor.
At InDigital, we know the public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESI Net goes beyond industry standards, not only I3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at InDigital.net.
August 24th, 2016, the I Am 901 movement is born. One of my personal stories set the tone for this movement. What started out as a way to raise awareness for the reclassification issue for dispatchers quickly turned into peer support. 911 professionals from all over the world were sharing their stories. On Facebook alone, at that time, the engagements were over 34 million. It spawned a peer support session at conferences called Imagine Listening, where dispatchers shared their stories out loud or on paper. For years, I have been asked if this would ever become a book, coming June 2023, and available now for pre-order on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. From Titletown Publishing, Imagine Listening, Your Worst Day is Our Everyday. If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Yo, what is going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are here for Open Mic Live. It is September 30th. Damn, we are already at the end of this month. Tomorrow, be listening to some Bone Thugs and Harmony. First of the month. Wake up. Yeah. It's going to be October 1st tomorrow, man. Whoa. Chase, what is going on? Hello. See everybody coming in here. Holy moly. Marco, what's up? Good evening to you as well. You know, I'm close to a 10. So as we always do with Open Mic Live, let's check in with each other. How are you feeling? How are you doing? And on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Where are you watching from? All that good stuff. Throw that in the comments, whether you're here on TikTok or over here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And also, please make sure to throw in some reactions and share this broadcast with on your feed. On your feed, or if you're on Facebook, your favorite dispatch page. So, watching from Asheville, North Carolina. All right. Very nice. Welcome. So yeah, I would say I'm close to a 10 coming in. This past week has been awesome, and we're going to get to that here in just one moment. But this live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital, a leader next gen core services, and a big shout out to patrons of the podcast, as well as subscribers on the face space on Facebook. Let's see. Chase, I'm a 3 to 4. I was at the airport today and missed my flight to New York City for an important meeting with a tech company. Oh, damn. TSA. Man, okay, well, hopefully we can get your number up there, man, and I'm sorry that sucks. Yeah, TSA. You know, I was flying once, and my boss and I mean, we were flying together, like, we had a meeting that we had to go to in North Carolina, so we were going through and he forgot his license. He forgot his license, and they're like, "You need to come with us," and they took him to a different room, and I went through security and everything, and I was waiting on the other side, and I thought, I wonder how this is gonna go down." So, I was waiting for the longest time, and then he comes out, and I said, "Are you alright, dude?" And he goes, "I don't even wanna tell you what I just went through." And I said, "What?" And he goes, I can't even say." And I said, "Are you okay? Why are you limping?" And he goes, "I'm fine, Ricardo. I'm fine. I'll be alright." And I said, "Okay, man." And then he starts laughing and he goes, "Nah, they didn't do anything. They had to check me." He goes, "I was fine though." They ended up letting him go through, but he had to call his wife and he didn't know where it was. Then I go use the restroom and I come back and he's just staring at me and I said, "What's wrong?" And he shows me his wallet. I said, "I thought you didn't have it, bro." And he goes, "It was at the very, very, very bottom of my backpack." I was like, "Man, you okay." I was like, "You could have saved yourself some time there." Oh, man. But, yeah, he had to go through some interrogation and stuff, to go through there. Man, that was something else. Um, but it was funny. In the end, it was funny. So, um, hopefully, you know, you can jump to, or you can get to where you're supposed to be going pretty soon, man. Sorry that happened to you. Let's see. Jody checking in here from Cape Canaveral. Hello, hello from Florida, where I started my dispatching career in the state of Florida. Yeah. Um, let's see. So, as I was saying, a lot of different things have been going on this past week. I got to see a lot of old friends as well as make some new friends while I was at the Indiana conference. I do want to say really quick, I did post episode 512, and that was the Imagine Listening portion of that session that I did at the Mayan Ranch out in Bandera, Texas. This is the leadership retreat that is put on by the 360-degree dispatcher, which is run by Joe Serio. Make sure to check out the stuff that he's doing. He's got a lot of different things coming up. Excellent speaker and trainer. So make sure to check him out. Again, that's the 360-degree dispatcher. And then episode 513, which is the funny portion of that of that session is going to be coming up as well. That's going to be coming this coming Wednesday. All right. And then if you are a patron of the podcast or Facebook subscriber, you will get a week early the newest episode, which will be episode 514, and that will be with Josephine Rios, and she is the founder of Latinas of 911, and that was a hella good episode. We had so much fun, man. I cannot wait to have her back on. If you are not following her and what she's doing, make sure to do so and check her out. She's on Instagram, Facebook. You can also find her on LinkedIn and everything. And she's doing some good stuff. So look out for that episode. That's going to be coming in a couple weeks. But again, If you are a subscriber of the podcast on Facebook or a patron on Patreon, you will get that a week early and ad free. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Marco here says 512 was a heavy show. Felt bad. Oh, yeah. That one was definitely a heavy one. But here's the thing, and I know I mentioned it before, but the thing with that was that everyone in there was just so in support of each other. So in support of each other. And as I mentioned with one of the session or one of the calls that was shared, rather, one of the stories, there were two people who got up and just embraced each other and just held each other for a little bit, and it was one of the most powerful moments of the session, and it was just really, really good. And then, of course, you got the funny part. So, the funny part will be coming this week, and one of the stories, I did put a promo out for it already. Jamie Jones, what is going on? I put a promo out for it already, and that story, I don't have it on my desktop here. I have it on my phone. I don't have it on my desktop. But let's see. Jamie says, in this line of work, we have to be super supportive of each other. You're right. You're right. But in some places, they aren't super supportive, which sucks. But a lot of things are changing. A lot of different centers are doing that and being supportive of each other, especially because we don't want to be short staffed anymore. So let's give a shit. All right. Let's give a shit about each other. Let's support each other. Let's keep people in this profession, in this career. Way more resources out there now than there were years ago when I had very first started. So things are definitely different, and I'm so happy for that, and especially doing this session, Imagine Listening. So for the funny part, oh, hold on. Jamie says, I had to write someone up yesterday and I cried towards the end and walked out. Towards the end of writing it up? Or writing them up, I mean? I think that's what you mean. I'll wait for you to type it out, but I'll read it when you type the another piece out there. If you feel comfortable. But one of the pieces or the promos rather that I put out for towards the end of the conversation. I'm not gonna, of course, I'm not gonna ask about the conversation, but I can only imagine that whatever it was that the person was going through, you guys were kind of able to connect and relate, which is why you felt that way. Gotcha. Okay. It says, Jamie says here, we got to the part, or wrote where we have a plan of action. So this is good. And maybe it was reflection as well. And again, I'm just speculating here, but maybe it was reflection as well on something that maybe you went through, or something to that effect where it really impacted you, which made it more emotional. I can definitely see that. So for the open mic portion from that session in Texas, I shared a clip of it, and the story is the person calls in. Okay, the person calls in, and dispatch answers, of course, and then ends up saying, "I'm blind." So the caller immediately tells dispatch, "I'm blind." It has a few colorful words as well there, but the main part is that the caller says, "I'm blind, I'm blind." And dispatch says, Okay, but well, what's going on?" And the caller says, "I smell smoke." And dispatch immediately asks, "Do you see flames?" Now, these are routine questions, right? These are routine questions. These are questions that we ask all the time. So even though the caller said, I'm blind, we have asked certain questions so many times that that routine response comes out, which which in the episode you can hear, and I'll tell you right now, when I was there, Jamie says we get used to these questions. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we get used to them. That's why, they become routine and you just ask. And when the person is sharing the story, you can hear her do, like, as soon as she says what she said, "Do you see flames?" You can hear her, like, you can hear this, like a slap, and it's the person telling the story hitting their forehead, doing a face palm. So they say it and you just hear the it was one of the funniest things, but the fact that you can hear it so loud in the recording made it that much more funny. So I can't wait for all of you to listen to that episode when it comes out. Over here on TikTok, automatic pilot to ask questions. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think maybe that's what it is with field responders as well, because they get so in tune with and dialed in, but also with their questioning too, on if we say be en route to a vehicle on fire, immediately they ask for the description of the vehicle. Because it's routine, if it's a car accident, what vehicles are involved or whatever, and of course you want to say the cars that are in the middle of the road crashed into each other, but you don't, right? You give the description, but it's the same thing when it's a vehicle fire. Be en route to a vehicle that's on fire on the side of the road due to crash or whatever, right? Whatever. And then responders, when they're going over there, that's what they ask. Central, can you give us a description of the vehicle? Uh 10-4. Color advised, the vehicle is on fire. Look for the vehicle with flames. Red, orange, smoke. But it's the same shit. So the person saying, I'm blind, and says, I smell smoke, right away, you end up saying, do you see flames? Oh, man. It is something else. Let me scroll back up here into the comments. Let's see. We got the part. No, I read that part. Moving from being a supervisor to deputy director has been so damn hard. Yeah, I can't even imagine, but let me scroll back over here. Oh, yes. I agree with Rue. Congratulations on the promotion. I ended up promoting to supervisor. I didn't have a chance for like deputy or anything like that because, well, it was going to be a long time before those positions became available. But man, a good friend of mine back at Allegan County, I was actually her supervisor, and she was my original co-host of the podcast. She's now the deputy director over there, and I can only imagine what that's like. Because usually the director, is kind of the figurehead and is going to all the county meetings, is meeting with all the heads of the departments and everything else, but deputy director is like right there with dispatch, even goes into the center, sometimes sits right there with the front line, and is still, is doing the damn thing. Seeing if anybody needs breaks or if it's getting crazy in there, they go in there and help. So I think the deputy director has it the hardest. Jamie says, same at my job. There for 16 years before that position became available. There you go. See over here. Same with the subject vehicle descriptions after sundown. Too dark to see. Yeah, you're right. And a lot of the callers too. The callers, in the middle of the night, if you got something that's coming in, you ask them as well, and almost immediately they say it's a little dark. Like I wouldn't be able to tell you. I can tell you it's a small car, or if it's a van or a truck or a semi or a motorcycle or whatever. But to give you, colors, it's a little hard when it's dark. Sometimes, if they go by a light or some shit, or if it's lit enough, um, then it works, right? Then you're able to get that. Otherwise, good luck. Yeah, good luck. So we've got a lot of episodes. Actually, I have about 4 already in waiting coming up, and I am going to be heading out to Oklahoma for their conference. I'm really excited to be going out there. That's just coming up here in the next few days. I'll be out there doing Super Session, and that'll be Imagine Listening as well. And then I will be a few days after that headed to Mexico to be the keynote speaker for Mexico Nina. And that is a great, great honor. I am super stoked and just happy for the opportunity. So Mexico Nina, thank you so very much for the opportunity. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am nervous as hell though. I am nervous, but it's going to be good. And again, I'm excited to be able to go out there and again to have the opportunity. And then a few weeks after that, um, I'll be out in Arkansas for their conference. And Sarah Stroud jumping in here. What's up, yo? Says, then in a month you get to come to Arkansas. Yay. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. I am very excited. And I can't wait. It is going to be really good. Cassie, hello, what's going on? Yes, thank you. Um Jamie says, don't be, you're awesome. It is the same thing you've done a million times. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But look, I'll be completely honest. I have been doing sessions and teaching and the podcast and everything for years. However, no matter how many times I do my sessions, how well I know the material, I get nervous as hell. Like right before I go up on stage, I'm in my head. I'm like, all right, you're all right. You're good. You're good. You've done this many times. You're good. Don't worry. Everything is okay. and then and then I hear, so welcome to the stage, Ricardo Martinez. And I'm like, oh man, okay. I'm like, here we go. And then I get up there, but as soon as I start talking, then all the nerves go away. It's all gone. Jamie says, I have passed your book around the center since I got it. Everyone is mad. I asked them to read it because it made them cry. And yes, you have done it a million times. I'm glad they read it though. That's good. I'm very glad they read it. Let's see. Rue says, until someone throws a wild story into open mic and none of us know how to respond. Rue, you are correct. You are so correct. Because that happens. It happens. Um, Jamie says, my family has read it too. That's great. That is awesome. That's one of the things that people have really, a lot of them have told me this, that they were not only excited to get the book, but also that they wanted um, to share it with their family and their friends. So when they ask them, what are things like in dispatch? How was it? They can simply hold this up and just be like, I want you to read this. And the book is doing very, very well, and I have all of you to thank for that. Thank you so much. Sarah says, "Will you have books with you when you come to Arkansas?" If it's not frowned upon, hell yeah, I'll bring some. I'll bring some to sell and such. Yeah. And I say as long as it's not frowned upon, because every conference is different. Some conferences they allow you to sell some of your stuff, and some are like, eh. So as long as the conference is good with it, I would definitely bring some. Yeah, for sure. Julie says, just imagine them in their underwear. Yeah. Rue says the mini conference in Dublin. Dude, for real. Yeah. So let me talk on that really quick. Oh, hold on. Jamie says, I've been doing this so long, my family already knows the ins and outs, but reading the pages of the book changed things. Yes, for sure. Sarah says, bring them. I'll double check. I'm on the conference committee. Oh, all right. Yeah, please. For sure. Yes. Please do so. And I'll bring some and we'll have them there. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Please check into that. And your swag and everything for being a patron of the podcast is coming up. Thank you so much. And so back to Rue at the mini conference in Dublin. So, a lot of times, and I'll say this before we get into some of the other stuff that I want to talk about here, but a lot of times there are stories that are shared. Okay. There are stories that are shared where we're not quite sure. Um, we're not quite sure if you should be if we should be laughing. All right. So there's a story that's in that episode from Imagine Listening from the open mic portion. Everyone is sharing all kinds of stories and everything, right? And then one of the stories that's shared is someone who, and Rue, I think you know which story I'm gonna mention here. But there was a story that was shared. So this person ends up saying, now I don't want to bring down the mood or anything from this part of the session, but I just so I want to tell this story. So I just want to start off by saying that when I was growing up, my yeah, Rue knows exactly what I'm gonna say. When I was growing up, I had a sibling who was, and the person said, brutally murdered and dismembered. And you can hear in the if you go back to the episode, you can hear everyone just go, and I'm standing on stage just because these are one of the things where you're like, where's the funny part? So, and I feel awkward as fuck telling the story right now. But this person told the story. It's in the episode. You can hear it for yourself. Um, so the person telling the story says this, and I'm just kind of looking at the person like, okay. And then the person says something to the effect of, um, the person years later, he takes a 911 call. Okay. He takes a 911 call from the person who did this. And then we're all just kind of like, huh? And he goes, this person ended up getting something like, what was it? Something of a corpse, like violation of a corpse, or I don't know, something to that effect. Okay. It sounded like this person wasn't the actual person who did all of it. So, um, and we're like, oh, okay. So then, he tells us that little piece. And then what he ends up saying is, so, the reason the person called 911 was because their flat screen TV was stolen and they were upset about it. and they were complaining about how expensive it is. And he ends up saying, the response that he gives to this person who did this to his sibling, he ends up saying, well, yeah, I hear it costs an arm and a leg. Oh my god. You could hear, like, everybody in the room starts laughing loud, and so was the person telling the story, and then the person but also you can hear in the laughter kind of an awkwardness. It was kinda awkward. It was like, oh, kind of like that. And the person telling the story says, like, my supervisor was in back of me, or my captain, or something like that, and that person knew what the person telling the story, had gone through and all of that, and and the person telling the story goes, "And my supervisor's in back of me," and just turns white, like they didn't know what to say, and so usually I'm pretty quick and witty with, like, comebacks and such, or, adding to one story, but with that one, like, you can hear it in the episode where I say to the person, "I don't even know where to go with that." But, obviously, the person telling the story is able to share it in the sense where it doesn't bother them anymore, so, yeah, good for them. I'm glad, but no one in the room was expecting that. No one was expecting that at all, and if I could have taken a picture of the moment that the person telling the story said what they said about it costs an arm and a leg, wow. That would have been yeah, that would have been something to see. But as Rue was saying in open mic, there's some of those stories that come out where you're just, "Where do I go with this? What do I do?" But as dispatch, we think on our feet. And yes, like Rue said, every other story was void after that. And I would be lying if I said that story wasn't in my head throughout the rest of the time. And that was hour number 3 of 8 hours of this class that I was teaching. And I had a lot of fun. I hope everybody else did too, and that they learned a lot from the stuff. One of the things that I'll mention really quick is throughout the time that I was there teaching and everything, there was a portion where we were talking about storytelling and recruiting, and there were some folks who were saying, "But this doesn't really pertain to us too much because we're not recruiters." And I said, "You're wrong, because every single one of you are recruiters. You don't need a title to be a recruiter. You don't need a title to be a leader. Whenever someone asks you about your job or what it is that you do, you're recruiting." Because a lot of times when people are listening, I mean, I've had a lot of friends who have wanted to get into dispatching as well, just because of the stories I was telling them. If not stories, some of the rewarding part of it as well. And that really pushed them to look into dispatching, which I love. So don't ever think you're not a recruiter, because you are recruiting whenever you talk about what it is that you do. So remember that. Think about your story. Think about how you would sell the profession to someone. You're a recruiter. Let's see. Rue says, "Oh my God, it was amazing. I appreciate you so much. Honestly, best speaker I've ever listened to." Oh, dude. Tear. Thank you. Oh, man. Well, my time here is done. I put my 30 minutes in for open mic. Thank you all. No, I'm just playing. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Um, that was actually the very first time I did a whole 8-hour class. So thank you so much. I've been working on it for a long time, and actually, every one of those sessions are sessions that I've done before in the past, but they were only about an hour. And that 8 hour, it's all expanded stuff. So thank you for that. That is excellent because I'm putting together a flyer, and I'm waiting for some of the evals or, testimonials or whatever to come back so I can add some to that flyer so I can put out there for anyone, who might want my 8-hour class as well. So, damn it, thank you. And if you can send me, Rue, if you could send me a testimonial, I would love that. Please, that would be great. Cindy, what is going on? I see here you say, if it cost an arm and a leg, there probably wasn't any feet to land on. Oh, Cindy, you broke me. You just broke me right now. Oh my God. My eyes are like watering right now. Holy moly. I love how you threw in the ellipsis and you're like, sorry, I had to. Well done. That's why I love doing open mic with all of you. This is so much fun. Just I hope your numbers are already going up because this has been good. I'm crying over here now. Julie says, I need you to come say that to our center. You are awesome. Oh, thank you so much. Uh, thank you. I would gladly do that. Yes. Cassie says, can't wait till Western Regional in Idaho in May. We are in for a treat. Yes, you are. I'm going to be one of the I'm going to be the closing speaker at the Western Regional that's going to be in Boise, Idaho. That is May of 2024. And I don't know why I always go into the robot. I dig it though. It's all right. And Rue, yes, please just shoot it to me in the inbox. Um, and yeah, please hook me up there. I would appreciate that more than you know. Um, so yeah, that's what happens in open mic. And I have a couple stories that I'm gonna play from this most recent open mic here in just a moment. So one of the other things that I wanted to talk about as well is this past week, as I've been talking, I was at Indiana Nina. Well, the Indiana 911 Professionals Conference, that's what it's called. And it's a joint venture between APCO and Nina and everything. And it was bittersweet, man. It was really good. It was a lot of fun, and I'm so glad that we were able to put something together. I was in the vendor hall. I did a live with Heather Blaney, and her sidekick Nugget, aka Unit 42PU. He is the emotional um, support animal, a skunk. I'm serious, a skunk, and he is awesome, man. In the live that I did on TikTok, he was actually wearing like this tie and looked like a little gentleman. He looks super cool. But we did a live and everything, and there was a lot of stuff going on. But the reason I say it was bittersweet is because when I started working for who I'm sponsored by in digital, uh, I started there at the end of 2013, but 2014 is when oh wait, Rue says, "What? That's awesome. I'm asking Sheriff for an emotional support skunk." No, I'm serious. For real. Let me see. Hold on a minute here. Let me open up another window. You see me moving my head all over the place is because I'm moving windows around on my double screens here. You would think I'm in dispatch right now. If you could see everything that I'm looking at, you would think that I had my own dispatch set up right here. um, but I want to see if I can pull this picture off my website really quick just so that I can show it on the screen and so that you can see it. So I put out an article on the website, and actually I'm going to see if I can just show it over here. I'm getting close to the camera, but it's because I my other camera that's right here is blocking what I need to see. So, okay, here. This should be it. All right, there we go. I wonder, can I zoom in? Oh, snaps, look at that. All right, so there you go. So there is Heather and myself, and Heather is out of Knox County 911, and this is Indiana, not Tennessee, Knox County, and I'm holding on to Nugget. And for those over here on TikTok, I'm going to see if I can switch the camera really quick just so that you can see. And right there. Oops. All right, there you go. All right, TikTok, there you go. Now you can see. So this is Nugget, aka 42PU, and he is Knox County. He's their ESA, their emotional support animal. Man, let me tell you a quick story, okay? Months ago, I was going to Knox County. That's the director out there is my good buddy Rob Big Mac McMullen, and I went out there to record this episode with Heather and Nugget. That week, I was dealing with an imminent death in the family. My mom's eldest sister. So I'd been dealing with all of us, all of the family had been, we were going through all of the stuff that was going on, and I was stressed out to hell. And I get over there and I go into Rob's office, and Heather is sitting there, and I see Nugget, and she goes, "Do you want to hold him?" And I said, "Hell yeah." Like, "Yeah, I'll hold him." And here's the thing that happened. Well, one, I said, "How do I hold him?" And she's like, "Just hold him like a baby." And I was like, "Okay, I can do that." So I grab a hold of him, and so this arm here, as I'm holding him, my left arm, he wraps his little arms around my arm and pulls me in really close and just starts kind of like rubbing his head into my arms. And man, it took everything in me not to cry. And the reason I say that is because it was as if Nugget knew that I needed a hug, man. It was like he could feel it. And I just kind of squeezed him a little more, and he's super soft as well. So I'm standing there and I look at both Heather and Rob, and I said, I think he knew I needed a hug, man. because because he just wrapped himself around me and just pulled himself in, and it was one of the coolest things. So let me flip the camera back over here on TikTok. But yeah, so this was uh that was Nugget. So Nugget was like the talk of the town at the conference. It was the coolest thing, man. Everyone wanted to hold Nugget. And no, he's dissented. So he doesn't spray or anything like that. And he's also a domestic animal, and has never really known the wild or anything like that. So it was cool. It was a cool reunion and stuff, and to be able to be out there. But as I was saying, when I started within digital going into 2014, it was the first time that I had been to the Indiana conference. And I don't remember how many episodes I recorded, but I recorded a lot. And throughout the years, I would go into that main room and I would test all of my stuff the night before. I would ask the conference committee, "Can I go in there the night before to test all of my shit to make sure that it works?" And they would say, "Yes." So I've got videos of me in there by myself testing. Okay. The Imagine Listening session that I do started at the Indiana conference at that specific venue. And the reason it was bittersweet is because just a few days ago, when I did Imagine Listening, I also found out that that was the last time that the conference was going to be at that specific venue. So it was awesome that it worked out to be able to do to be able to do Imagine Listening there, because that's where it all started, at that conference, at that venue, and I got to finish it out. Finish out that venue with Imagine Listening. The other thing is that Imagine Listening, the last one there at that venue, it ended the way it started. So in 2017, I had been working on Imagine Listening. And the reason I call it Imagine Listening is because I wanted people to do just that. I wanted them to imagine listening to one of these calls. Put yourself in our shoes. Imagine listening to this. That's what we do. That's what we go through. It sticks with us. That's why I called it that. And I remember Rob was sitting up there with me, excuse me, and he says to me, "How do you think this is going to go?" And I said, "Man, I have no idea. I don't know. This is brand new. I've never been in a session like this. So we'll see how it goes." And I explained what we were going to be doing. And when I asked, "Does anyone have a story they would like to share?" Not one person rose their hand. Not one. Nobody wanted to be first. And I remember looking at Rob, and he's like gritting his teeth and kind of smiling, but going, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "Hold on, give me a second." And then I get on the microphone and I said, "If any of you would like to write down the stories, please do so. Write it down and hand it up, and we will read it for you." Now, it has changed where those that are written, I just bring them with me and I record them later and add them to the episode. And the only reason for that is because there are so many people now that want to say them out loud. I want to give everyone a chance to say it out loud there. And the written ones I bring back and I read through them and then I record them. And I shit you not, it is not an easy thing to do. I have sat in this room crying with these stories, trying to record them, taking breaks, and then, putting them out there. But they're so important. So I want to make sure they all go out there, because I might be reading them and I can feel it because I've been there before with a lot of those calls, but I'm not that person, right? So it's an impact for them is way more. But I'm so happy that they were able to share it, that they were able to write it down and share it to get it out, because that's the point of Imagine Listening. So as soon as I said, if you would rather write it down, man, so many people, like, you could just hear the paper, just people ripping paper, sharing paper, sharing paper, and people were writing and writing and writing and writing. And I shared a couple of my own stories. And then a lady stood up and she said she wanted to share her story. And that's all it took, was that first person, because then after that, more people started to raise their hands because they wanted to share stories out loud. And I remember looking over at Rob and I was like, this is exactly what I was hoping was going to happen. And it did. Fast forward to just a few days ago, doing Imagine Listening. Joe Lee, what is going on? I ended up telling this story to everyone in the audience and shared a couple stories. And when I said, who has a story they would like to share, it was the exact same way. Not one person wanted to share. And I shared a few of mine. And then Jolie, who just jumped in here, ended up, she was helping me out. And Jolie, thank you so much. I appreciate you. She ends up sharing a story just like the very first time. It started the same way. After Jolie, there were more stories out loud that people wanted to share. There were 24 written stories. And I'm going to take a little bit of time to go through those, but I'm going to record every single one of those. Now, here's the thing. Also, when I very first started Imagine Listening, there were two things. If you shared a story, whether it was out loud or written down, you not only earned a pin, an official I Am 911 pin, but you also got one of these. An official I Am 911 challenge coin. And TikTok, I'll show it to you here in just a moment. These are rare. They're not for sale. I do not sell these. These challenge coins are exclusive to the Imagine Listening session. That's why I don't sell them. That's how special these are. And for 2024, I'm going to bust my ass to bring these back so that they are part of every Imagine Listening session going on. All of you are the first to hear this. I haven't put this out there anywhere. But these are special. And they mean a lot. And again, they are not for sale. They're exclusive to those Imagine Listening sessions. So please be patient with me. I am going to be bringing them back for 2024. But those first sessions that I was doing of Imagine Listening, this is also what people were earning for the official hashtag I Am 911 challenge coin. It was crazy being in there. Only in the sense that it hit me as I was talking about the session that it started in this venue and is ending in the venue. Madison, I have mine in my badge right now. Hello, Madison. It is good to see you here. And it was awesome to meet you and talk with you as well. And I'm glad that you have that. Keep it close. It hit me when I was there and in the beginning when I was explaining all of this stuff, and I had mentioned it started here at this venue. We're ending day or Wednesday with Imagine Listening. It was an awesome moment. The stories that were shared, the emotion, people hugging and embracing each other, supporting each other. And again, Jolie, thank you so much. And then as we were going through all of these stories, I was taking mental photos in my head of that room because that's where it all started. And at the end, I was talking to a lot of people, and as I was walking out, I ended up looking around one last time and the hallway and everything, as nerdy as it sounds. But that place is always going to be special to me because that's where Imagine Listening started. That's where I made so many lifelong friends at that venue, at that conference. It's going to be in a different spot next year, and I hope I get to come back and we blow out that first one at that new venue. But it was really cool to be able to do that there and to finish it out with Imagine Listening. Oh, man. It was so good. So let me look here in the comments really quick so I can make sure to catch up here. Julie says, I was at the first one and this last one always touches my heart as everyone speaks. So proud of you, Ricardo. Thank you so much. And yes, you were there because I remember when we got to the open mic part 2, there were some stories. I remember, Julie, you were cracking up hard. And I mean, we all were. And it was so good. But I remember it specifically because you were sitting, might have been all the way up front. You were sitting in the front, and Rob and I were on stage, and the room is always packed. I'm going to be sharing some of the pictures that the Indiana conference committee ended up taking, and I want to write about it as well and show everyone. But as we've always done there, it's always been a packed room, standing room only, and it was just really, really good. Jamie says, I love the ones that have been written on napkins. Yes, a lot of people, whatever they had to write on. I have all of those. I have stacks of stories in there in a drawer, and I have them all. And I'm eventually going to turn all of those into memes to put out there and everything. So thank you, all of you, for everything and the support and what you shared. And over here on TikTok, thank you so much. Rue over here says, I do my job when it is time to do my job, but to tell some of my stories, I cry my eyes out being a major empath and feel like I failed, even though I know I didn't. We hold ourselves to such a standard and expect so much. Yes, I am right there with you. Yes, you are exactly right. See, Jamie says, I'd love to have one of those. Never had the pleasure of seeing you speak in person. I'm gonna try to do another Imagine Listening tour for 2024, and of course have these with me as well. So be ready because I'm gonna be putting things out there. Or if you want to see me at your conference, like talk to your conference committee too, and we can talk and do all this other stuff. Let's see, Jolie says, I got to help the famous Ricardo. I'm just a nerd, dude, with a passion for 911. It came full circle for me as well. What an awesome memory. I'm so glad. That was really cool to hear that from you as well when we were talking later on, you and I and Madison about that. So a lot of cool things that ended up happening this past week, and I couldn't ask for a better week, man. It was just so good. Especially that session. It was awesome. So, as we go into the wrap up of this broadcast, one, if you put in a session, the call for papers for Dare to Be Great 5, thank you for your patience. I will be letting everyone know tomorrow. I've been traveling back to back to back to back, but I have the list and I'm going to be making contact with everyone. So hang tight. I'll get all that information out. But Dare to Be Great 5 is coming December 4th through the 8th. 2023, and it is going to be badass. It is going to be good. Woo! Loving it. Cindy says, after 44 years, I'll write you a book and send it to you. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. So I want to close this out. And for those over here on TikTok, I'll put my headphones over here to the microphone so that you can hear it. But I want to play a couple stories that were shared from the open mic portion at the Indiana conference. Okay. So let me switch the audio up over here for everyone on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And then over here on TikTok, I'm going to move the headphones down. So again, these are two stories. Okay. Here we go.
Okay, this is a short one. This was about 10 years ago, middle of summer, like middle of the evening, 7 p.m., and I get a call on the 911 line. This guy is frantic. He is squealing. He gets his address out, and I say, okay, can you tell me what's going on there? This is like Minnie Mouse octaves. And he says, something, my pool. I said, I'm sorry, did you say your pool, like your swimming pool? Yes. So automatically I'm thinking this is going to be a drowning, this is going to be trouble breathing, I'm getting ready to get medics on the line. And then I hear the word lobster. And I said, I'm sorry, what did you say about a lobster? Because I'm thinking, okay, this is going for a serious facility real quick. And he says, there is a lobster in my swimming pool. Okay, this is Indianapolis. So the odds of this happening are slim. And right away, I'm thinking, like, tornado? Dropped a lobster? What? I'm just not processing this, okay? I live in the city. So after going back and forth with this guy about why I'm not sending the police out for a lobster in a swimming pool, it occurs to me it's probably a crawdad. And I asked him, you just take your net and scoop it out? And he says, well, then what am I supposed to do with it? Eat it? Congratulations. He called 911 for a lobster in his swimming pool. It was a crawdad. It was on the heels of a serious call. It was just so incongruous. It was so funny. There is a lobster in my. I almost transferred you a lobster call.
Awesome. Thank you. It's all right over here. Crawdad. Okay, so before I go into the last call that I want to play, somebody called for a crawdad that was in their pool. Now, I mean, they kind of look like lobsters, right? But they're like that big versus, you know, a lobster. So some of these, man, I mean, you can't make this shit up, right? But as the person was saying, you know, they're in Indianapolis, so the odds of a lobster being in someone's pool, what Kelly Logan here says, yeah, major size difference. Yes, yeah, exactly. Oh man. So this next one. Rue, I hope you're still watching. I'm not even going to set this up. I'm just going to go ahead and play it, and you can tell me what you think. Okay? But I will say that, oh, good, you're there. Okay. I will say that, no, I'm not even going to say anything because it'll ruin it. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it. And I want to know what you think. Okay? All right, here we go.
One night, I get a call from our jail, which you never know what the inmates are going to do, but they are stumbling over their words. Like, another one of those, you can't make this up. We need an ambulance. Okay, what do you got? What's going on? We have an inmate that has an object not where it belongs. Okay. What did they do?
It's in the toolbox.
They put a crayon in their penis.
Oh my. That's not what I thought you were going to say.
And
Okay.
put
Before I go on with the rest of it, did you hear that? What the person did? I will say every dude in the room cringed, moved to the side, and me standing up, I was doing the same thing. I was like, oh, Kelly, crayon? Yes. Yeah, it was a Crayola. Why? Why? I don't know. So let me play the rest of it, okay? All right, hold on one second.
a crayon in their penis.
Oh my. That's not what I thought you were going to say.
And my partner at the time was neither
Ow.
of the people at my table, but when I turned around off the phone call and told my partner what I had going on, their response, because you know our minds work crazy, we're dispatchers. Their response was, I wonder if they took the paper off first.
Thank you. Oh my God.
In this room did this.
Yes.
Every man at the same time.
Yeah, it's like,
it was all like, what?
Oh my God. Oh my, yeah, holy crap. That was something. That was one of those calls where it's kind of off the wall and you're like, huh? What? What? Because, yeah, no, I wasn't expecting that. Usually it's like the back door. Nope. Nope. This was. Let's see. Rue says we had a guy at our facility that busted a fluorescent bulb and shoved glass in his. Again, why? Dude. No. Why are dudes so stupid? Oh, God, Cindy. That just made it worse. Take the paper off and sharpen it first. Oh, my God. Kelly says, and now I have to try to go to bed. I'll be having interesting dreams. My day wasn't that interesting. Thanks. Oh, man. Yes. Rue says, I've watched a guy bite a chunk out of his knee. What? Oh, man. See? Yeah, exactly. People be wilding in the jail. Holy moly. Yeah, that is something else. That's some crazy shit right there. Well, on that note, we are going into the wrap up of this Open Mic Live. What are your numbers now? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty and 10 being awesome, where are you at now? I am way above a 10. And even if your number stayed the same, that is okay because we're all here together. So thank you all so much for being here, for what you do, and be there for each other, support each other. We are all we have. We know what it's like to go through this. It's up to us. We've got this, man. We can do this. Thank you for everything. Kelly's at a 13. Woo! All right. Rue is at a 10. This was a fantastic end to my day. Excellent. Excellent. And wait, you also said, oh, I have so many wild jail stories. Dude, I want to hear some more. We need to do an episode. Sarah says 9.5 because the shift is going slow and it's put the Q word on there. Cindy says, I might make it to 6 a.m. now. Good. Oh, man. Well, awesome. Rue, shoot me a message with that testimonial and we will get something set up. I would love to have you on. So everyone, again, thank you so very much for everything. Today is also International Podcast Day, and I put a graphic out there, and I just want to take a moment really quick to thank all of you for the support since the beginning of when I was doing all of this. Everything that I do now started as a college project back in 2010. When I hit my burnout stage, when I was trying to figure myself out, find some therapeutic way to get my stories out because I was struggling. And it turned into everything that I do now. But it wouldn't be what it is without all of your support and your trust to share your stories. So thank you for everything. The podcast has surpassed 2.1 million worldwide downloads. It is heard in over 60 countries. And there's no stopping. There's a lot more to come. So thank you, all of you, for everything. And if you ever have any comments, questions, or you ever want to be a guest on the flagship show, you can email us, and that's going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that is wttpodcast@gmail.com. And over here on TikTok, Emily, I see that you just jumped on here. Hello. If you want to be a patron of the podcast or subscriber, follow on social media, anything like that, just simply go to links.co/WTT podcast. That's links with 2 eyes. I went like this, 2 eyes. .co/WTT podcast. You can find everything on there. Email, where to follow me on social media, where to listen to the latest episode, where to purchase this amazing book, Imagine Listening, Your Worst Day is Our Everyday, where you can become a patron of the podcast, subscriber on Facebook, and there's a link on there as well for the store for merch, which I'm going to be ramping up here as well because the holidays are coming up and I got a lot of cool shit that's going to be coming. So make sure to check all that stuff out. And once again, it's links with 2 eyes.co/WTT podcast. This can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, as well as TikTok. And you can listen to the show 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone. And we will see you all in the next one.